the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Impinimfoɔ neka omasem say agrobe soa ifri anopa. Heading into the 2024 elections, the nkofo bebree na expected and say government in power 8 years so dia where they will hand over to opposition. Nanso insenkyereni bi sisi a just say December 7th the likelihood of another miracle AC very, very high. And I don't think kasa. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a catcher delegate of the New Patriotic Party, said, Ansana mubinya result amunye bida. Ese muye ejuma munye bida. That is, elect me from the north as the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party heading into the 2024 elections. Delegates for the say an outstanding 63% unanimous support. Say Onkoye flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Nokoye no. And NDC for Koye research heading into the 2024 elections. Say research ebetre edine dagana for akoma so pa. Eyo major concern. Nenye dum so. Nyenye whether wafa oba running mate and asa wafa bema running mate. Major concern omo dachi in regards to education, free SHS. No wonder, say political statement omo attempt so omo de remedy this situation and say yen na de buy. Starting from Professor Jaina na okujina bigwemo e kan asem. Now so it did not fly. And His Excellency, former President John Dramani Mahama, esanso koke a press conference for a media encounter. So all the two na ya share say Ghana for a short memory and as a Ghana for a long memory. And a Ghana for say or more digital memory. Because omu provided digital evidence. A say NDC for more criticizing the free SHS of unknown various audio clips. Say free SHS and idea omu pe. Now has almost contended with an additional 1.5 million new registered free SHS voters. The new voters register. According to the Electoral Commissioner, Professor Jaina J. Mensa, our Parliament, okay, said the total population of one Kwakotwaba in the 2024 elections is 17 million. Out of that, free SHS for 1.5 million of our home. Already 2016, the cost say the major upset Ghana who be the sitting president may lose by 44 to 44.4%. A 1 million difference. Now in 2020, 500,000 difference. Now 2024, 1.5 million Ababeka register. Wemuna inheritance of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo with the free SHS policy. Now, another thing, miracle happening is chiefs, traditional leaders who say the vision of the New Patriotic Party, ni Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said, only ahim for the Bekambum at the Amamua Abregana for pa heading into the 2024 election. Say ahim for Tonton Asas different from government. Sadeni na yeba trim amama kabum at the leadership at the local level. It's anyone say Tamale chiefs or boycott say that of the NDC campaign launch or Tamale. And visuals be of former President John Dramani Mahama say Okoshia Nairi and as Okakoshia Yagbongura and as Okakoshia any Tamale overlord. And sana okakoye ne campaign launch. Say obeshia omo after there, it will be an insult to the integrity and reputation of the chiefs. Won't even go share people no and sana woko share omo traditional ruler. And then also boycott akoso eso contending with NDC heading into the 2024 elections. Now the second thing now is surprising is here. 53 African leaders I endorse Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia vision heading into 2024. In this election year, say Bibi see a Ghana for you who be that. For 53 leaders, so Ombe endorse adopted the vision of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia heading into the 2024 elections, can't send be. Say, and only free SHS for never sorry. And only traditional leaders never sorry. And only religious leaders never sorry. And only Gen Zs never sorry. African countries forever supported Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia heading into the 2024 elections. Never proved the reason why. His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, February 2024. Ekojina African Union for conference. Eka say it is about time or more adopted Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vision of mobile money interoperability across Africa. Almost say share the way Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia added mobile money interoperability. Aba a seamless transaction from your mobile phone to the bank, from the bank to the mobile phone, from one bank to another bank, from one bank to another mobile money. Eye fair, de among life, simple among Ghanaians. I'm to me the access financial services or phone so or shares, or loan, or save, or deposit, or transact, or the ton idea, almost also the two idea. Now, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's idea of digitizing the economy. Now, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo statement was said, this effort of adopting the mobile money interoperability across Africa aims to facilitate smooth transactions and promote economic integration throughout the continent. Mobile money interoperability enables traders and customers to make transfers between mobile money accounts held by different mobile money providers. When yet nothing new to Ghanaians. But His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo presented some ideas to command African leaders, 53 African leaders. Obia ayede and challenge Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It is a prophet is never hailed in his hometown. But African leaders who say Ghana for a visionary bia oye. Ghana for a leader bia audio moko baby a yen be that for an African country to be leading the charge in digitization. It is idea quickly as he adopted Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia vision. Na Ghana for an chere omeniso ankoto abamana omo anomaide omahwere omade. In Accra, Ghana, President Akufo-Addo delivered 2 reports during the African Union mid-year coordinating meeting. Establishment of an African Union financial institutions and scaling up interoperability for economic integration using mobile money to buy and sell across Africa. Yes, Emre. Yenko His Excellency himself for 3 to 2 minutes. Yevia ni interview Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia on digitizing the economy. African leaders for no share ya. Omutie His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Omu decided say ombe adopt his vision for Ghana now. No mind for the whole of Africa. It's the same as Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Eddie vision by said the African is capable of managing his own affairs. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the economic Dr. Kwame Nkrumah in our time.
In the digital infrastructure that will form the backbone of our shared prosperity. We must create policies that foster innovation, encourage entrepreneurship, and attract investment from both within and beyond our borders. We must promote interoperability to reduce transaction costs and delays, tearing down the silos that have hindered our progress for too long. And we must leverage the power of digital identity programs such as the Ghana card, to improve access to financial services, reduce fraud, and create a more inclusive and equitable economic system. Through public-private partnerships and cross-border collaboration, we can create a seamless and efficient fintech ecosystem that aligns perfectly with AFCFT's objective of fully integrated digital African economy. By working together, we can unlock the vast potential of our continent and create a rising tide that lifts all boats from the smallest village to the largest metropolis. Ghana has emerged as a good example of what is possible when we embrace digital transformation. Our e-government initiatives, such as the Ghana Card, the Ghana.gov portal, and mobile money interoperability, have reshaped the landscape of public service delivery and expanded financial inclusion to heights that were once thought unimaginable. Today, some 17 million of our fellow citizens now possess a digital ID, linking them seamlessly to the critical services they need to thrive in the modern world. The Ghana.gov portal has facilitated transactions worth some 1.6 billion cedis since its inception in 2019, improving revenue collection, reducing corruption, and in creating a more transparent and accountable system of governance. And when it comes to mobile money, Ghana stands tall among the nations of the world. With transactions exceeding 900 billion cedis annually, we boast one of the highest mobile money penetration rates in the world, which is further proof of the ingenuity and adaptability of our people. But our progress does not stop there. Ghana has made remarkable strides in the realms of fintech and financial inclusion, blazing a trail for others to follow. Mobile money adoption has increased considerably, with some 44 million accounts registered by the end of 2023, and transactions surpassing one
person behind Ghana's digitization agenda. He's an economist and a former banker. In today's CNBC Africa special, we sit down with the country's Vice President, His Excellency Mahamudu Bawumia. Now, if you want to be part of this conversation, tweet us at CNBC Africa or tag me directly at The Real Quizzer. When it comes to the digitization process, why is it at heart for you?
Well, thank you very much. I think that for us, in terms of the strategy that we've adopted for economic transformation of this country, we see digitization as a major instrument, an enabler for transformation. And why do I say so? We've inherited a system, and Ghana is not the only country. I think it's very consistent across the continent. We've inherited a system that doesn't seem to work for the ordinary person on the street. There seems to be this disconnect between government machinery on the one hand and the lives of ordinary people on the other. And when you look at that system, you'd see that we have been living with problems for a very long time since independence. We talk about a highly informal, society. We talk about a society without identity. We talk about a society where you don't have address systems that are functional, where you have financial exclusion and people don't have, where you cannot mobilize domestic revenue or taxation because it's difficult to do so. People don't file, properties are not taxed, and so on. So, and you have a high interest rate environment. And so there is this system that we have been dealing with since independence. And we pose the question, why is it after all these successive governments that we've had since independence, after all the IMF programs and after all the World Bank programs and foreign aid and all of that, the system that underlies or underpins economic activity has remained the same, or in some cases gotten worse. And so we thought that we needed to build a new system that works for the ordinary man, a system that addresses these very challenges that I've been talking about. And we thought that the digital path, the path through for digital transformation through digitization, is the best way to do that. And so you are looking at how do you solve the problems of people in the rural areas, for example, who cannot get access to medical supplies because of where they live. Or you are talking about people who are trying to interact with government, to apply for a passport, to apply for a driver's license, to get a business certificate for opening a business, just the basic things that people have to deal with on a daily basis. You find that the system that we inherited worked more for the privileged, worked more for the elite. But if you can digitize many of these systems and put in the enablers to allow more of these systems to be built, then you remove the human interaction, and you don't need to know somebody who is a big person in an office to be able to apply for a passport or to be able to get a driver's license or get a scholarship and so on, or go to the port and you have to pay a bribe to do that. We needed to essentially remove a lot of the human interfaces so that we could deliver services to ordinary people devoid of corruption, and so you're trying to create more and more of an inclusive society, and this is what was the driving passion behind our government's setting up digitization as a major instrument for economic transformation.
It's timely in a way, and why do I say timely? The COVID-19 pandemic is something we have been dealing with, and Africa as a continent has faced its first recession in over 20 years. Now, the numbers look staggering for some countries. One of those is Ghana. In terms of growth projection, recovery, especially looking at the fiscal year 2021 going into 2022, 4.5%, 4.8%. You can correct me if I'm wrong there.
That's about the ballpark.
Higher than the average that AFDB has predicted. But key in this is digitization in terms of bridging this divide, the income inequality divide. Majority of the younger people, who we call the netizens, are in the e-commerce sectors that you're talking about. So how much of a contribution do you think digitization is going to play in ensuring that you not only get to the 4.5, 4.8 mark, but you surpass that and rebuild this income inequality and social divide?
Thank you very much, Arnold. I think you are very right that one of the consequences of the COVID-19, you saw our growth come down to 0.9% in 2020. And we were one of the few countries actually that recorded positive growth. But in that context, we've also seen a recovery taking place. And as we expect to hit about 4.6% next year, and hopefully we will maintain it over the medium term. But one of the reasons we think that we didn't get as badly hit as other countries is because we already started our digitization processes much earlier. And so many people were still able to work from home in this context, but nonetheless economic activities slow down. But we expect as we go forward in the recovery process, digitalization is going to be very, very key in helping us grow. People are selling on the internet, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. There's a lot of economic activity taking place there, and people are creating jobs. Young people who cannot actually afford to go and rent shops or build shops are able to do business over the internet. I mean, of course, Africa as a whole is seeing a boom in e-commerce, for example, whether it's the transport business in Ghana. You're seeing digitalization play a role in people being able to eke out a living, notwithstanding the COVID-19 pandemic. But we are still in the process of trying to get back onto the growth trajectory, and other policies will complement the digitalization drive, industrialization, agriculture, and so on.
One of the policies, great that you bring it up, is internet access, smartphone access. The numbers are still not the best.
That's true.
What's the plan?
Well, if you look at the internet penetration in Ghana, internet penetration stands about 50%. In 2017, we were at 27%. So we are making progress, and where we need to really emphasize and where government is placing efforts, our President Nana Akufo-Addo is very passionate about bridging the digital divide in terms of